Tamra Judge from RHOC throws a thrilling Traitors party. On The Real Housewives of Orange County Season 18, Episode 8, Tamra Judge put together a celebration inspired by the hit series Traitors, and it was an absolute hit. Tamra invited Shannon Storms Beater, Gina Kirschenheiter, Katie Janella, Jennifer Pedranti, Heather Dubrow, Emily Simpson, and former RHOC member Vicki Gunvalson to her party. Unfortunately, my experience on the show The Traitors was too short, so I wanted to have a Traitors experience for the girls, Tamra said during an interview, and maybe just for me to relive it a little bit. What's a Traitors party? Imagine this: charming outfits, a Scottish setting, and rainy weather. All Tamra needed then was a host. The host picks the traitor for the entire game. You have to figure out who the traitor is. Tamra explained. There's missions, and you can be murdered. It's just a mind game, is what it really is. Who could replace Alan Cummings' role for Tamra's festivities? Why, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum Teddi Mellencamp Arroyo, of course. The group had a mixed reaction to this, but Tamra believed that Teddi would not disappoint. To get the game going, Teddi had the girls fill out questionnaires, which would determine who would be the deceiver amongst them. Teddi's poll included questions about the other women like, who is the biggest liar, and who is the most judgmental? Once everyone turned in their answers, the girls put on eye masks, pushed in earplugs, and then it was up to the host to make her decision. Teddi then started to walk slowly around the table, tapping a cane twice behind every seat. That led up to one person receiving 3 taps, which determined the deceiver. The wives were then turned loose on the rental house to get drinks and catch up. Murder amidst the Housewives of Orange County. Next, the host split the women in 3 groups to start a game of Who Knows the Housewives Best, which they played over dinner. During this game, the women guessed which names came up most for the questions earlier. Jen and Shannon's team won, and they received immunity. They could not be murdered by the secret traitor that first round. That meant the first person that was out was, no it couldn't be, Tamra Judge. The traitor, whose identity was hidden, had an interview of her own. What the hell, Teddi? She said, I pointed at Vicki to be murdered. To fix this problem, Teddi announced a second murder, Shannon. Then the group pulled out a piece of paper to see who would be dead next, which was Vicki. Tamra Judge, known for her bold personality and knack for stirring the pot on The Real Housewives of Orange County, decided to take her party hosting skills to the next level. Inspired by her favorite reality show The Traitors, Tamra planned an elaborate Traitors party, and the guest list included an eclectic mix of housewives from various franchises. The result? A night filled with intrigue, deception, and drama that only Tamra could orchestrate. The invitations themselves were a spectacle. Each guest received a black envelope sealed with red wax, bearing a simple message: join me for a night of secrets and strategy. Trust no one. Inside there was a black mask and a cryptic note: the truth will set you free, but lies will make you rich. Tamra ensured everyone was on edge before the event even began. The party was held at a sprawling mansion in Orange County, transformed into a medieval castle for the evening. Guests were greeted by actors dressed as knights and hooded figures who silently escorted them into the grand hall. The room was dimly lit with chandeliers dripping with fox cobwebs, and a long banquet table stretched the length of the room. Each place setting featured a goblet of wine and a scroll outlining the rules of the game Tamra had devised. As the housewives began to trickle in, their competitive streaks were immediately apparent. Teresa Judas from RHONJ arrived in a gold gown, exuding confidence. If anyone's playing traitor tonight, they better watch out, she said with a sly grin. Kyle Richards from RHOBH entered with her signature smile, but quickly scanned the room for allies. Mary Cosby from RHOSLC glided in, enigmatic as ever, muttering something about divine intervention. Tamra, dressed in a black cape and jeweled tiara, called the group to attention. Ladies, welcome to my Traitors party. Tonight, Some of you will be faithful, and some of you will be traitors. Your goal? To uncover the traitors and eliminate them before they eliminate you. Trust me, this is going to be a night to remember. The game began with a ceremonial selection of traitors. Tamra theatrically handed out scrolls, each indicating the guest's role. Only 3 scrolls designated traitor, and those who received them exchanged knowing glances. As the group mingled, alliances formed and suspicions grew. Tamra had outdone herself by planting subtle clues and red herrings throughout the mansion to keep everyone on edge. The first challenge involved a treasure hunt in the sprawling garden, where guests had to solve riddles to find hidden jewels. Vicky Gunvalson, Tamra's frenemy from RHOC, quickly grew frustrated. "This is so stupid. I'm not running around in heels for fake diamonds," she declared, sitting on a bench with her arms crossed. Meanwhile, Teresa and Mary formed an unlikely alliance, whispering about who might be a traitor. Inside the mansion, drama was brewing. Dorrit Kemsley from RHOBH confronted Kyle, accusing her of being too quiet. "You're up to something, Kyle. I can feel it," she said, her voice dripping with suspicion. Kyle laughed it off, but her eyes darted nervously around the room. Overhearing the conversation, Tamra couldn't resist adding fuel to the fire. "Well, Kyle has always been good at keeping secrets," she teased, earning a sharp look from her former 2 Ts in a pod co-host. As the night progressed, tensions reached a boiling point. During a dinner of roasted meats and decadent desserts, Tamra announced the first vote to eliminate a suspected traitor. The room fell silent as each guest wrote a name on a piece of parchment and dropped it into a cauldron at the center of the table. Tamra read the votes aloud with dramatic flair. "The first person eliminated is Vicky." Vicky's face turned red as she stood up. "This is ridiculous. I'm not a traitor. You all just can't handle me being honest," she huffed before storming out. The group's mood shifted. They realized the stakes were higher than they thought. Meanwhile, the traitors were secretly plotting their next move. In a hidden room, they gathered to discuss their strategy. Teresa, one of the traitors, suggested targeting Dorrit next. "She's too observant. We need to get rid of her before she figures us out," she said. The others nodded in agreement, sealing Dorrit's fate for the next round. Back in the main hall, Tamra announced the second challenge, a trivia quiz about their respective Housewives franchises. Mary surprised everyone with her encyclopedic knowledge, earning her immunity for the next round. "I've always paid attention to the details," she said with a mysterious smile. The second vote was even more contentious. Dorrit, as predicted, was eliminated, but not without a fight. "You're all making a big mistake," she warned, glaring at Teresa. "I know you're behind this." Teresa feigned innocence, but her smirk didn't go unnoticed. As the night wore on, alliances shifted, and the remaining guests grew increasingly paranoid. Kyle and Mary formed a tentative partnership, while Tamra reveled in the chaos she had created. The final challenge was a test of loyalty. Each guest had to choose one person to share a secret with, knowing it could be used against them. The traitors exploited this opportunity, sowing discord among the faithful. In the end, it all came down to a dramatic reveal. Tamra gathered the group in the grand hall for the final vote. "Ladies, it's time to uncover the truth. Will the faithful prevail, or will the traitors walk away victorious?" she declared. The votes were cast, and Tamra drew out the suspense as long as possible. "The traitors are Teresa, Kyle, and Mary," she announced, throwing her arms in the air. Gasps erupted around the room as the trio stood up, unapologetic. "We played the game, and we played it well," Teresa said, raising her goblet in triumph. Despite the deception and drama, the night ended on a surprisingly positive note. "You've got to hand it to Tamra. She knows how to throw a party," Vicky admitted as she hugged her former rival. "Even if she's the ultimate traitor, Tamra couldn't have been more thrilled. This was the best night ever. Maybe I should host a Housewives edition of the Traitors for real," she mused. And knowing Tamra, she just might.